What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dead on Dave. We are coming at you live from Germany at an unorthodox time. I understand it's a weird time of day to be doing this, but you see, I had a video that I was going to do. I was going to edit it and everything. I had this brilliant thing where I was going to skewer one more time the Brock Lesnar and Goldberg situation. I was going to skewer it. I was going to talk about all of the reasons why it was an absolute abomination. That was the plan. In fact, I still have the script that I wrote sitting right in front of me. And I'm going to read some of it because I do think most of it still holds true. However, Dave Meltzer just dropped a somewhat big bombshell on everybody that I think it's important to talk about because it does kind of change the way things are looking. Now, I understand in the East Coast and on the West Coast and stuff in the United States, it's very early, but here in Germany, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. So I don't know what to tell you. You guys are on my time. It's DST, Dave Standard Time. Get on board or get the hell out. All right. Let's get into this because this is pretty crazy. This is pretty crazy. First and foremost, let's talk about last night, what exactly happened. The squash of all squashes. Part of the reason why the squash didn't work is because of the fact that the entire night sucked. But here's the thing. On a short-term scale, it got a lot of pop. People in the audience absolutely loved it. It was a shocking moment and nobody saw it coming, which for a lot of people, that makes all the difference. Now, at the same time, I contest that people didn't see it coming because it didn't make sense. Now, the question is, why didn't it make sense? Why didn't it make sense? Well, it's real easy because it seemed like it was short-sighted. There was nothing long-term. Goldberg has said himself, this is basically it. All of these reasons were there as to why this didn't make sense. You got a 50-year-old man shitting in Lesnar's mouth, excuse me. It just made no sense. You have the likes of The Undertaker, John Cena, and Dean Ambrose, who have all sacrificed to help build Brock Lesnar over the last 3 years into this unbeatable monster. So eventually, all that juice can be transferred to a guy who's going to help take the business in a new direction. That's where the logic was at. But perhaps there was more to all of this that was kept secret in a way that usually doesn't happen in wrestling. Now, this is according to Dave Meltzer, who, as much as I loathe and as much as I just can't stand as far as his wrestling stuff in the past, as of late, the last year, he's been unbelievably accurate. Unbelievably accurate. So this might hold some weight, and it actually does kind of explain what the hell we saw last night. This was on Wrestling Observer Radio with Dave Meltzer. This is what's happening. Goldberg will definitely work with Brock Lesnar again in a rematch from last night's Survivor Series pay-per-view where Goldberg defeated Lesnar in 86 seconds. Meltzer noted that the deal was put together within the past week and it was something that Lesnar and others pushed for. It was noted that Lesnar saw money in a Goldberg program and didn't want it to end in one match, and Vince McMahon apparently saw that as well. As for why the match was so short, Meltzer noted that it wasn't because Goldberg being hurt. He said the match was changed to get Goldberg over once he agreed to stay, and the decision was made to do so in a short match like his short WCW matches that got him over in the first place. Now, this is all from F4W Online, and this is also sourced from the WrestlingInc.com, courtesy of Rajari. This is all pretty incredible because it kind of changes things. It changes the way that we think about it. It changes the way that we look at it in some regards. I mean, look, the reality is 3 years of build could still be gone. But what if it's not? What if now instead Brock Lesnar comes out and he just murders people? I mean, literally kills somebody in the ring tonight. What if he kills Vince McMahon in the ring tonight? Brock Lesnar might go on an absolute tirade. He might destroy Raw. I mean, just absolutely apocalyptic type sense here. Because one thing that Goldberg has been talking about since his return is wanting to be a superhero. What does a superhero need? A superhero needs a supervillain. And Brock Lesnar can certainly become that supervillain. Brock Lesnar can become that antithesis to Bill Goldberg. He can become exactly what Goldberg needs. But before we get a little bit, even a tiny bit excited about that prospect, this is all predicated on if Goldberg can work. Can Goldberg work a longer match? Is it possible? Can he do 10, 15 minutes? Will that be able to happen either at Royal Rumble or presumably WrestleMania? I don't know. There's no way of knowing. The prospects seem rather good because the 4 things he did last night, the push down, the 2 spears, and the jackhammer, he did beautifully. You can't mess with the performance of Goldberg because it worked. The build-up was really good, and the 4 things that he did in the ring was actually really good. The problem really is because of what we were assuming the things that we were believing to be true, that 3 years didn't matter, that this was just a 50-year-old nonsensically shitting in the mouth of a guy that is supposed to be the beast of beasts, the guy that got the Undertaker's undefeated streak. All of these reasons why you could be angry because the meaning behind everything is now seemingly gone. However, if there is an actual long-term feud and it is able to be good and productive and we get a halfway decent match, even though I don't know if the execution of that match matters because it's going to sell if they do this correctly, which based off of the way they built this in the last 4 weeks, there's no reason to think that they cannot continue to build it really well. If Brock Lesnar goes absolute supervillain here, then there's no reason to think why it will not sell. Toronto ate this alive. Toronto ate this up. I mean, that's the thing. Gun Cannon says, so what you're saying, Dave, is that Brock is not the villain we want, but he's the villain the WWE needs. Maybe. Makad says, makes no sense to me because he lost clean. Only reason for Brock to be mad is if he was screwed. Goldberg won clean. Well, that could be an exact reason why Brock goes nuts. Think about this. Brock for the last 3 years has been an absolute beast, right? He's been beating everybody. He's destroyed people. Now, everything that he thinks he knew, that he thought he knew, has been shattered by a very embarrassing loss. Why wouldn't Brock come back out on Raw tonight and try to reclaim, try to prove to everybody? Let's say he's just walking backstage and, I don't know, the New Day or somebody else starts making jokes or laughing and he puts that motherfucker in the hospital. What if he puts, just breaks somebody's neck because they laughed at him? They dared laugh at Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's the thing here. There is ways to make this make sense, but they can't do what they've been doing. This can't be a let it simmer. Brock has to be on tonight and he has to go absolutely apeshit. And if he does, and he creates chaos of which the likes we've never really seen before, this could work. But it is predicated on if Goldberg can work, which we don't know that he can. However, what that win does do is give him time to get ready. I'm still not in favor of any of it. I got to be honest with you. But look, I'm going to continue watching the product. I'm going to continue being a WWE fan. I'm going to continue, having to sit through this on a constant basis. And to do that, I need a reason. And this theory, this report given down by Meltzer is compelling enough to allow me to give it some time. It is. Do I think it's the most brilliant thing in the world? No, but it does kind of make sense in some ways because what else were they going to do? Do we really think that we were going to see this crazy ass shit from from Brock putting over somebody at this year's WrestleMania. Brock still has another year on his contract. Maybe this is the bridge the gap to the WrestleMania where he will be putting somebody over. If he destroys Goldberg after all of this, then it kind of makes the Survivor Series worth it, because for good or bad, that will be a moment that people will talk about. Now, it's what happens afterwards if it becomes the finger poke of doom or it becomes something a little bit more. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. LBFC 17 says the last 3 years do not even matter anymore. It depends on who you ask. I mean, to some people, it never really mattered because they don't look at it that way. To the casuals are not fucking looking at it like, oh, 3 years down the drain. The casuals are looking at it like this. Holy shit, I didn't see that coming. There was no way of expecting that. Wow, WWE shocked me. Look, even my reaction last night, which you could watch from my review from last night, where I did the last match live reaction style, my jaw dropped. I even called what was going to happen because I saw the betting lines switch like they did. You know, so that's the thing. I even said it was going to happen, but my jaw even dropped. So that's the thing about this. A lot of people were making a lot of presumptions. Maybe Goldberg held up WWE. Maybe he said, look, old man, I'm not losing in front of my kid. Or maybe Lesnar said, I'm done. Go fuck. I'll lose. I don't care. I'm done with wrestling. Those were possibilities. Both were consistent with what we know of those guys. But with what Meltzer has put out this morning, if it's to be believed, which I gotta be honest, it kind of makes sense. This is the most likely scenario to be true. Because the reality is, Goldberg got over because of the 2-minute match. He was king of it. It worked for a long time. He revolutionized the squash. He did. And now he did it to somebody that nobody thought that he could possibly do it to. And he did it on a big stage. And he did it in front of a crowd that has traditionally eaten shit like this up before. Hogan Rock, for instance. Weird angles that you wouldn't think would work. Toronto seems to, maybe they really did think this through and got this right. I just don't know if it's going to work long-term or not. And long-term, by the way, is 3 to 6 months. If 6 months being the long end of that being going to WrestleMania. That's what we're talking about here. Lesnar could have continued to come out and do the exact same promo that we've seen a million times with Heyman and then get to WrestleMania against somebody, and maybe it mattered, maybe it wouldn't have. But if now Goldberg and Lesnar are going to go forward and make something out of this, it's possible that this ends better than we ever thought it could be. Now, I'm not banking on that because there's so many reasons not to, you know, there's so many reasons not to think about it. It's think that this is good, you know, all the numbers, 50 and 12, Goldberg's age and the number of years since his last match. 3, the number of years that Lesnar has been building up all this juice logically to give to that next guy. Every sacrifice that we've seen, you want to automatically think that none of that means anything now. The fact that we had to sit through an almost 9-month title reign of his where he showed up 7 times. Over the last 3 years, every single one of those 29 exact same Raw promos that we had to watch Lesnar standing there smirking while Paul Heyman yelled at us reason after reason why his beast is the most dominant athlete of this or any era. Those were his actual words. All of that seems like it's for absolutely nothing because there was no payoff. Now with the inclusion of what Meltzer has offered, it seems like there could be a payoff. And wrestling is all about the payoff. So maybe there's something more. But it does predicate on tonight. Everything depends on tonight. Raw is very important. Arguably one of the most important Monday Night Raws in a very, very long time. The Raw is important, man, because Lesnar has to take it over. I want to see Lesnar kill somebody. I want to see Lesnar I want to see him walk into the arena with a fucking machete. And I want to see him just take hostages. That's what I want to see. But other numbers that people were concerned with was 23-1, the Undertaker's WrestleMania record now. Because why does it matter? Well, it never really did to me. And I wasn't really shocked that Lesnar beat it in the first place. But That was until last night, because 21-0 certainly did mean something to a great many people in the industry. And the belief was that for Taker to give that up to Brock, there had to be one hell of a reason to do so. There was a giant pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because most of us signed up and bought into the idea that pot of gold was going to be ridiculously big and great, and we were going to swim in it like Scrooge fucking McDuck. But that's what it was all supposed to mean, because the next guy who was going to take all that juice from Lesnar was going to be the guy, the true guy for years to come. And I think a lot of us, me being included, got caught up in all of that because now none of it mattered. None of it mattered out of emotion or sheer logic's sake. How about 55, the number of seconds the match lasted? This was a very big issue for me because of all the other numbers that we talked about. You know, wrestling is about suspending disbelief, right? That's what the whole premise is. Well, how can we do that when we saw a 39-year-old super athlete, a guy that has won legitimate fighting titles, a guy that for the past 3 years has buried an entire roster, including taking the streak off The Undertaker, giving one of the most one-sided beatdowns in championship match history to John Cena of all people, absolutely walking through Dean Ambrose at this year's WrestleMania, and many, many more other things. How can we suspend our belief when that guy gets shit right in his mouth by a 50-year-old man that sweats more coming down to the ring than a hooker at church on Christmas? It's just, he's shit in his mouth. I mean, but once again, that is all under that premise of it being over. Maybe it's not over. You know, that's the thing. It doesn't seem like the idea of selling the squash match because that's what Goldberg was known for is actually kind of tantalizing. It's not a terrible idea. It makes a lot of sense. Nostalgia is a motherfucker, man. And not just because, I'm sure some people are like, well, the kids don't know it. Those kids have parents that are probably wrestling fans, and they will sit down with their kid now and be like, you see what he did last night? This is what he did for 18 glorious months in WCW. And then they're bonding. Nostalgia's a mother, dude. That's crazy. But maybe you're not a numbers guy, and that's completely okay. It's fair enough. Numbers don't always matter. That's fair. But we could talk about how this was a failure not just on its own. I think a big problem from last night was the fact that Survivor Series didn't hold any logic or importance almost on any level. And it was that insanity with Brock laying there with Goldberg's golden shower all over him. It really was that final straw. The camel's back just completely broke after that. But the fact that we came out of this Survivor Series with both brands the exact same way in which we walked in, fucking irrevocably broken, that's a big problem. You know, we had a chance last night to make some big changes. And not only did they decide not to, but they buried two more legitimate fucking monsters on the roster that they've been building for months. One guy, one girl, because, you know, equality. But they also gave not one, but two eliminations to the list of Jericho, and even one to James Ellsworth. Even though, to be fair, watching him get thrown 63 feet through a table was very fucking satisfying. Point is, many of us were already overwhelmed by that point in that night that our brains simply couldn't process something so confounding. It really was. Well, what about that defense? Dave, okay, there's the defense here. Let's talk about it. No one saw it coming. Well, yeah, because it didn't make sense. Now, it might. I don't know. You know, last night the report came out that Goldberg was just going to be around for Royal Rumble and being in the match. That was kind of annoying. However, now maybe he's not going to be wrestling in the Royal Rumble, or maybe by that time Goldberg's holding every belt, or Brock Lesnar's holding every belt, and then Goldberg and Brock for the belt at WrestleMania. Oh, that hurts my brain. That is too much. That is too much, but I don't put it past them. Do we want to see that, though? Once again, it all depends on if if Goldberg can work. I keep confusing Goldberg and Brock. That's the thing. I don't know. So, all right. let's get to some phone calls. I just really wanted to get this off my chest, talk about a few things, and get this out there about Meltzer and what he says about why all this happened. I thought it was pretty interesting to me. So let's take your calls live on Skype. David Vancura, DavidVancura. And of course, the number 702-751-2902. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams, your quips, your quotes, your likes, your loves, everything else that you got. What do you think? Is this going to work? I have no idea. But let's talk about it. And once we get your calls, then we'll get up out of here. Let's start with Mr. Bubbly himself. It's Joe B. What's up, Joseph? How you doing, buddy? You're live with Dead on Dave. Joseph.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. There you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. My headphones are all messed up.
There's your sexy British voice.
I am kind of done. I'm kind of done.
I don't know. And with the revelation this morning, I don't know. This makes a little bit more sense to me now. It's not because, look, I would be done too if this was just like 3 years down the drain. There's no build, there's no payoff, there's no nothing. But now that there seems to be a little bit more planning to this, I'm a little more tolerant. I'm at least willing to see where this goes because I know you pretty well. And I have a feeling that if Brock Lesnar shows up on Raw tonight and cuts somebody's fucking head off, we're all going to be talking about it, man. It could be a crazy ass Raw tonight, but it has to be that way. It has to be Brock Lesnar going apeshit. That wouldn't interest you at all.
Yeah. And if they don't do that, then there's real problems.
We'll have another conversation.
But I mean, I don't know. It's not even just the Brock Goldberg thing. I mean, the whole show last night, with the exception of the men's match,
which even that had its problems.
Yeah. I just, because I've not been watching WWE as often for the past few months because I've just been super busy.
You're too regal. You're far too regal for that peasant shit.
But I've just sort of been watching NXT regularly, and that's basically, I've been tuning into Raw and SmackDown sort of more sporadically, and I haven't been seeing great shows, you know? I mean,
because there hasn't been.
It's just, yeah, it's kind of depressing the way that this is. Let's just hope that Survivor Series was the culmination of all the badness, and now we can get on to good stuff again.
Well, see, I think that there is still the lingering problems of the brands staying the same. They had a chance to fix that last night, and they decided not to. So that's a little bit of a problem. That's a hang-up. That's a hard one to get over. But that's another problem for another day. The one thing that seems to be fixed, not fixed, but at least a little bit more tolerable because of this revelation by Dave Meltzer that this was the plan, because I mean, a lot of questions were, why would Lesnar agree to this? Why would Lesnar agree to be squashed after everything that he has done in the past 3 years? It didn't make sense. Like, I was one of the people who was like, well, Lesnar's got to be done with wrestling. Or Goldberg held up Vince McMahon and said, look, I'm not going out there and jobbing. You tell that fucking big muscle-bound ape that he's losing, or we're not having this match. Good luck, motherfucker. I thought that was possible. But now the reports are coming out that Brock Lesnar actually pushed for this because he sees money. Because it makes sense. Brock's about money. It's what Brock is all about. And he may not be wrong here. If they build it the way that we're talking, if he comes out and goes fucking apeshit, there's money here. A lot of money.
There is. And I think that if the way to do this properly is for them to spend the next few months just having Brock destroy people, just destroy them.
Yeah, I think he needs to put his hands on Vince McMahon tonight.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a fan of because I don't want to see Vince in any spot, but that's what needs to happen. I think he needs to put his hands on Vince. He needs to destroy at least 5 or 6 people tonight. I think he needs to put like Bo Dallas in the hospital. Somebody snickers at him a little bit. He goes crazy, right? At the end of the night, he goes out and maybe Ellsworth. At the end of the night, It all builds this. We see like 6 or 7 Lesnar segments where he destroys an announcer. He destroys all kinds of people, right? At the end of the night, he goes to the middle of the ring, puts a chair in the middle and says, Vince, get your fucking ass out here. You get out here. We need to talk. I want Goldberg. I want him now. And then Vince comes out and Goldberg, or God damn it, I keep doing that. Lesnar puts his hands on him and grabs him and picks him up off the ground. And he starts like choking him. And he's like, you listen to me, you old piece of shit. You either give me this guy or I'm going to end you. And like Triple H comes out like the kayfabe is broken. Everybody comes out and tries to calm Brock down. And Brock simply puts him down and says, you have a week. You have 1 week. And then next week, out comes Vince McMahon. And he gives him, and Goldberg comes out right behind him. And a big ass brawl ensues. Then we got something building. I think they can do it that way. I think
Brock, I mean, I think he needs to go one step further than putting someone in the hospital in kayfabe. I think that he needs to retire someone.
I think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he has to do something so dastardly, and it's got to be a series of events. It can't just be one thing. He's got to hurt somebody. Like if he can actually kill somebody, if he could actually like sever someone's head, they should do it. You know, if somebody could actually die for the cause of wrestling, now's the time. Maybe there's some leukemia kid whose their one wish is to die in the ring. Make it happen. Let Brock rip its head off. You know, fuck. You know, kill a puppy. Do something.
You need Paul Heyman to cut some of the best promos he's ever cut.
I don't know if you need Heyman for this. I think Heyman needs to be the like Heyman. You could show him earlier in the night, like walking around. Just maybe he even comes out as a harbinger. Like he walks out and he's like telling everybody, "You have no idea what's coming your way." Yeah, you cannot even believe this. And like, he just leaves. He goes, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I can't be a part of this. He's off the leash. I can't control him. My beast is now gone. Something like that. And then he comes out and really just, I mean, he's got to kill somebody. Kill Byron Saxton. There we go. He's going to murder Byron Saxton on Raw tonight. Boom. Ratings. Yes.
Yeah. That would also be entertaining because Byron sucks. But
exactly.
He needs to obliterate people.
Yeah,
he needs to have one of those things where the whole locker room comes out and try to control this guy, and he still can't be controlled by them. Basically.
It does kind of suck that he's going to have to bury some of the locker room to do this, but that's already happening anyway. Hell, we got 2 eliminations because of the list of Jericho last night, and 1 because of Ellsworth. I mean, they're already burying him, so it doesn't matter. This is instantly the most important thing that the WWE has to do right now. They got to make this work. Makad says, you mean he should do exactly what Samoa Joe just did? Exactly! Yes, but even more. Even more. That is the Samoa Joe angle. Maybe they got inspired by NXT. Good point, Makad. Yeah. Good point.
Tends to, I wish they'd get inspired by NXT a bit more, but... Yeah. There you go.
Because that really worked. That actually, the Samoa Joe thing really worked, and that was a shock too. Maybe that's exactly what this is. Good call, Makad. Good shit, buddy. Mr. Blunt, anything else before I get you up out of here?
Nope, you can throw me over the top rope.
I will gently lay you over the top rope, okay?
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
You
have a good day.
Ta-ra.
Mr. Bubbly. We're taking your calls live on Skype. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. And, of course, the number, 702-751-2902. We're taking your calls, man. It's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in Germany. I'm having a good old time. Thought it'd be great to come talk with you guys. But I'm going to be live again later on talking with Tommy C over at Shot From The Point. Man, for Shot From The Point, Dad, we're going to have a good old time. I can't wait. We might even talk a little bit about this. Who knows? We might talk Zoe Burger. We might do fucking love phones because we're inspired by tax-free titties. Who fucking knows? Kyle Lorch, Dave, I'm going to be at Raw next week. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's going to be pretty damn crazy. It's going to be crazy. All right, let's take another caller. Patrick Glynn, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got, Patty?
I'm just still in shock from last night, and I hope what you're saying that Dave Meltzer is reporting is true.
You know, I understand that I'm kind of the rosy guy. You know, I'm always trying to look. I'm not trying to look for the bright side. I'm simply looking at the facts that are, or the allegations, the evidence that's being brought, and I'm trying to be as fair as humanly possible. Why? Because I love wrestling, and I want to believe that they wouldn't just do something like this just for the sake of doing it. So maybe I am being a little more blind than usual, but fuck it, I don't care. I have to. Moles donated $5. I don't know. I actually enjoyed the show last night. Lots of redeemable moments. See, some people feel like that. Some people do feel like that, and they were entertained, and I can understand to an extent why, because it was a shocking moment. I totally can understand that.
I don't know. It's just in 55 seconds, it just surprised me. I mean, the thing is, Heyman's going to come out tonight and just basically say that Brock took Goldberg too lightly.
No, I hope not. I don't think that's not the way to go. I don't think that's the way to go. I think you have to go over the top. You've got to go crazy. You've got to go crazy, man. You got to go over the fucking top with this, and I think it's very important.
That's true. I mean, so now that Goldberg's up 2-0 on Lesnar, it's basically Lesnar's white whale, like a Moby Dick. He won't be avenged until he gets a win over him.
Yeah, Rock Austin. Think Rock Austin. Rock having the chasing his white whale, the WrestleMania trilogy. Rock Austin. Rock had to pull out all the stops to finally get the fucking victory. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I was there for that one because that was Austin's last match.
Yes, it was. All right, you got anything else for me, Patty? I got a bunch of people calling, and people want to talk about this. It's crazy.
I just wanted to call in and give you my opinion, and just hopefully, I'd like to see Lesnar come out tonight and just kill people.
Yes, murder Byron Saxton. # kill Saxton. There you go.
And Michael Cole.
No, leave Michael Cole alone. They already did that. Hey, Patty, I haven't heard from you in a while, so it's nice to hear from you, buddy. And
I'm finally finished with my move. I'm done moving.
Congratulations, Patty's got a place.
Yeah, I'm back with my parents. Woohoo!
Oh, well, shit. You didn't have to say that part.
Well, I'm doing it to save money, so
it happens, man. No worries, no judgment here. I'm living in a fucking converted basement.
Oh, I'm living in a basement too.
Sweet basement brothers. All right, Patty, you have yourself a good day.
I'll talk to you later, Dave.
We're taking your calls live on Skype. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA, and of course, number 702-751-2902. I take calls as they come. So don't get mad if you don't make the call before I fucking take somebody else's. I take them as they come in. So go ahead and get up in there. Because right now is the time if you want to sound off on Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg and the revelation by Dave Meltzer. Now's the time. Now's the time to talk about it. Now's the time to get your mind at ease. Do you think it's going to work? Do you think it's going to fall on its face? Does it even matter to you anymore? Are there other problems that are going on with WWE that are far more troubling? That is definitely something to consider. By the way, make sure you guys hit that like button if you've yet to do so. Push it. Push that like button. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man says push it. See, like that one right there. Warrior pose. All right, let's take another call. We got Lewis Future. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Well, that was fucking dreadful. He lost in like fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah, he did. Less than 2 minutes, actually. But I don't know if you've been listening to the rest of the show or not. But there has. Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think of the revelation by Dave Meltzer that this was all part of the plan? And do you think that is a good move? I mean, because at least now there seems to be some kind of semblance of a plan. Part of the reason why I was so upset last night is because there didn't seem to be any reason for it happening. Now, Brock Lesnar actually asking for this to happen makes it a little bit more tolerable for me. I got to be honest.
The thing is, I just want to, like you said, I just want to see Brock come out and murder people.
He has to. If it doesn't, it's a failure.
As well, because I live in England and that, I've got to stay out for Raw, but I don't stay out for many Raws. But because Brock most likely will murder people,
dude,
I'm definitely going to
I live in Germany. I'm even later than you are. Okay, trust me. I know. Not only do I watch Monday Night Raw, I then stay up to do a live review right after. Trust me, I know your plight, my friend. But I'm crippled too. Keep that in mind. Jesus, don't cry for me, Argentina. Cry for Dead on Dave. Okay, cry for Dead on Dave.
I'm so happy I'm off uni today because I got to watch Survivor Series and it was a decent show in my opinion.
I had a lot of problems with Survivor Series. It was part of the reason why the whole Goldberg thing really resonated so hard with me. Seeing Nia Jax tap out to Becky Lynch as the first elimination for Team Raw. Seeing Braun Strowman be the first elimination for the men's Team Raw because of James Ellsworth. Seeing 2 eliminations because of the list of Jericho. Seeing Sami Zayn get screwed out of the title and thus us not getting the Intercontinental Championship on Raw.
And
seeing Baron Corbin bury the cruiserweights just because Raw doesn't give a shit. There was just so much, man. I hated so much of it last night. And then I couldn't take the Goldberg thing on top of it. I almost committed suicide on camera. It was terrible.
It's like, it's really, I'm sorry for swearing, but it's really fucking annoying because NXT Canada or Toronto was really good.
Amazing.
And I was excited for a really good week of wrestling. I thought it was going to be amazing. Some of the spots were good, like the coast to coast with the spear.
Oh, that should never have happened. That spot should never have happened. That was terrifying.
Shane looked like he died.
Yes, and I think Roman spiked himself too. Roman spiked himself. That was not good either. Roman didn't walk right the rest of the damn match. Looks like he gave himself a stinger. Not good.
But why, if you want brand supremacy, why did AJ and Dean start smacking each other? I know they're gonna go into a feud, but what's the point?
Yeah, it was bad booking because it didn't.
Yeah, and Dean goes out to a body slam
because they were showing. Well, to be fair, it was a running power slam, but still, the thing is. They were still trying to accomplish other things, like the Randy Orton thing, taking a bullet for Bray Wyatt, the continuing to build because TLC or whatever they're doing tables, ladders, and chairs is right here for Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. They're trying to build other things while still trying to accomplish what they wanted to do on Survivor Series, and unfortunately, it was just too much and it didn't work, and you couldn't really connect with it. So,
yeah.
But yeah. Hey, Lewis, I appreciate the call. Final thoughts before I throw you over the top rope.
Let's just hope it does happen on Raw. Brock
murders people. He's got to kill. He's going to eat somebody's face.
We need to make him retire the Big Show and murder Curtis Axel.
Yes, I like both of those ideas. All right, man. And ritualistically sacrifice Byron Saxton. Have yourself a good day, buddy. Enjoy that lovely English weather. And the women's teeth.
It's raining now.
Here too. Take it easy, buddy. Peace. All right. We're still taking some calls. I know there's some other callers trying to get in. First come, first serve. Get up in here and talk about everything that's going on. We're going to continue on taking your calls about Goldberg, about Lesnar, about Dave Meltzer's revelation that this was all part of the plan, that Bill Goldberg is going to continue to wrestle matches that he agreed a week ago, and Brock Lesnar saw dollar signs and wanted to extend this feud and agreed to do the job because that's something that everybody was talking about. Why would Brock Lesnar agree to do something like this? What's the point? Why do it? What his ego? Why would he ever agree to it? Was there a fucking sniper trained on him? Is that why he did it? That's what some people had to be considering. Was Goldberg holding him hostage? No. It seems to be that Goldberg and Lesnar worked this out to where this is going to be a long-term feud. That's interesting to me, but it all comes down to two things. What they're going to do tonight on Raw, and if Goldberg can properly work 5 to 7 minutes. Gun Cannon, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Well, I've had a little more time to kind of sit here and go over last night, and then, I did read the Meltzer. I did see the Meltzer thing this morning, and, I came to another thought. You're right. Lesnar needs to do something tonight that will drop a massive bomb. He needs to hurt somebody.
Yes.
I also see this kind of as a way that, the rest of those rosters can start to boost themselves a little bit. The quote unquote undefeatable monster has been beaten. So maybe this will show them pulling a little courage, drinking a little bit from the courage juice, and
I think that's what's going to get somebody hurt.
Yes, and that's exactly where I'm going. So you might see something like, say, the ring full of guys saying, "Hey, if this can happen, maybe we can do the impossible too." And then Lesnar comes out and proceeds to just absolutely decimate something.
See, I think they need to go a little more subtle than that. I think it needs to. I really do. I like this idea that I kind of just shot there about Heyman coming out looking all kinds of just like he didn't sleep. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow. Maybe he smells of booze. I don't fucking know. And he's just like distraught. He does not know what to do because his beast is now on the loose and nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. And that's what he's just being a harbinger. He comes out really sober and he's just somber, not sober, very somber. And he's just like, you guys don't know what's coming. Nobody understands. Nobody gets it. And then, like, you see Lesnar walking backstage and, like, Bo Dallas or somebody kind of laughs in his direction. And he just stabs him with a fucking machete. I mean, that's kind of what needs to happen tonight. I'm talking heads getting cut off, maybe a crucifixion, setting somebody on fire, possibly home invasion. This needs to be, I mean, Goldberg's talked about being a superhero. Lesnar needs to become a supervillain. And if he has to destroy some parts of the roster to do it, that's okay because, like I said, they're kind of doing that anyway.
Yeah. And I've also, I also feel like it can't just happen on Raw. Because they
made it very clear that this was a Raw match. Goldberg, they actually called it a Raw match before the match, and that's why the Raw team was that's why the Raw team alone called that match. So I don't think that's a big of a problem. You still want to have SmackDown being its own entity. Goldberg has no reason to be there, so that gives Lesnar no reason to be there. I think he can accomplish what he wants to accomplish just on Raw.
True. It also could give a little bit of a jump to SmackDown, whereas if Lesnar is quote-unquote loose and he's running roughshod through that roster, there'll be guys that'll be coming from Raw over to SmackDown going, can you give us, like, protection?
Which might has enough problems, though. That's the thing. I don't know if you want to do that to the roster for SmackDown. For one, you don't want to – if there's no payoff for Goldberg to have an association with SmackDown, then there's no reason to get SmackDown involved. I see where you're coming from, and it's not a bad idea. I just think that after what we saw last night with Survivor Series, with the brand supremacy and all that shit that we saw, really, which just equated to a stalemate, I do think that they need to kind of move on from that and go somewhere with let SmackDown develop what they're going to develop while doing this crazy fucking thing with Lesnar. So, and to be fair, there is no confirmation that Lesnar is going to be on Raw tonight. I have no idea. I haven't seen anything that he will be there. No clue, but he needs to be.
That's true. It might be something that they and this is it's a good/bad idea. Maybe giving him a week off and giving a week off for this to settle and then just blowing the hinges out the following week.
I don't think you can do that. I think because of the knee-jerk reaction, we're still waiting for Triple H to return to go after Seth Rollins again, or Seth Rollins get his revenge on Triple H. We're still waiting for that. There cannot be a slow burn here. This was such a visceral response and so crazy what happened that you have to capitalize now. You have to go crazy with it right effing now.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, there are very few things that would kind of make a slow burn work, but with it being the way it was and the fact that it was, less than a minute that it took for that match, I could definitely, kind of get behind something like that.
I can't. I can't. He's shitting Goldberg. He's shitting Lesnar's mouth. He's shitting his mouth. It has to get resolved tonight. It's got to start tonight. And I'm telling you, he's got to put his hands on the old man. He's got to put his hands on the old man tonight. I'm telling you, this has got to be one of those things where they go so over the top. It's got to draw people in. This is a very important Monday Night Raw for all of these reasons. If you go slow with this, you're going to lose people. You cannot be. Look, Goldberg's only going to have so much of a retention anyway that this has to be so knee-jerk. It's got to be so visceral. It has to be so important, so crazy that we have no other option than to keep our eyes peeled on it. That's how this has to work.
I think that's going to be just a foregone conclusion. We're going to be watching this like a hawk as is.
We'll see. Gunn, I appreciate it. You got any final thoughts before I get you out of here?
No, just to hope that this will light some sort of fire under WWE's ass. That's all I hope.
We'll see, buddy. Take it easy. Thanks for the call, pal. AJ Tucker in the chat says, if they do nothing tonight, then it's a missed opportunity. If they do nothing tonight, then it is dead. They've killed this situation even worse than it already was. You cannot let thoughts linger. People are look, there are some people who are happy with this because they got a momentarily shocking situation. You know, my jaw dropped, but I was pissed off as hell because 3 years disappeared, 3 years of build for nothing. They can quell all of that by having Lesnar double down and go ape shit. Go ape shit. Steal the show. Oh my God. I don't even want to ask. My daughters, they're both limping. Why are both of you limping?
I'm just limping.
Margarita's limping too. What'd you guys do?
She's tiptoeing.
Oh, get that out. All right. Love you, daughter. Bye. Fake ass limp. Fake ass limp. My God. All right. We're still taking your calls live on Skype. David Vancura, DavidVancura. And, of course, the number 702-751-2902. Feel free to check out everything that's going on within the channel. We got ourselves right above. You can get... Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. We got all kinds of great merchandise over at www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com. Go get yourself some mugs, man. Go get yourself some t-shirts. We got some great stuff over there. Go check it out. Also, you can donate to the channel if you're feeling generous. If you're feeling hoppy, and if you know the rules, we got standing hot pepper rules. We get to $100, I will eat a Carolina Reaper live on the air. I'll tell you what, limited time, we go to $50. Carolina Reaper. Carolina Reaper time. Carolina Reaper time. $50. $50, Carolina Reaper. So there you go. Last chance. You want to sound off, this is your opportunity. You want to get your voice heard on everything that's happening with Brock Lesnar, Bill Goldberg, the Dave Meltzer revelation this morning that it was all planned. I had a very interesting conversation this morning with Tommy C, where we talked about a lot of different scenarios about how this came to be. And there were some funny ones, I got to be honest. Oh, this is interesting. I think we just found our victim. 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 And it's fucking Rusev. Rusev took a shot at Lesnar for his quick loss at Survivor Series, writing on Twitter, ha 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 ha. Holy shit. Oh my God. Yep. Yeah, I'm just so you guys know that I am not kidding. I am not joking. I'm going to show you this because this is only fucking Rusev could do this. I swear to God, only Rusev. And Rusev, we just found our victim. Somebody's going to die and I can't even show it. Why can't I show it? No, I really want to show it. No. Oh, that sucks. Webpage. No, that really blows. Okay, I can't show it. But it's just a long ha 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 ha. And some ha's that aren't even completed. So that's your guy. That's your guy getting killed. It's going to be Rusev. At least he's doing something. All right. Last chance, guys. Phone lines are open. We're going to get up out of here. I hope you guys had a good time as we talked about Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. It just goes to show you guys that no matter how bad things can appear, there's always another day. There's always another reason to try to think about life choices. Think about what's going to happen in the future. Could it all still be one big farce and a failure? Yeah. Yes. Yes, it could. In fact, that's probably a very, very good possibility. However, there is also the possibility of greatness, of something that we're going to talk about our kids too. No, we're not. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna be positive. You're just me. I'm gonna be positive. All right. Well, you got another caller before I was gonna get out of here. I was about to end this thing, but we got one more caller. 702. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Good morning. Good morning.
Morgan, what's up?
Calling from Las Vegas. Name's Manny.
What's up, man?
What happened yesterday was, I would say bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
To me, I've been a wrestling fan since freaking 1984, and I've never missed anything. And I think what they did to Rusev, from him not being there and having these two gentlemen wrestle, when they don't wrestle a lot, just once in a blue moon, half-assing it and giving us this bullshit to it, I don't know who to blame. Is it Vince? Is it because one of them's hurt and they didn't want to do anything about it?
No, I mean, blame the fans. The Toronto ate this shit up. People are buying this, man. That's the thing. People do want to see Lesnar. People do want to see Bill Goldberg. It's what there are a big majority of people who want to see it. I get the anger because there's a lot of anger to go around. But at the same time, based off some of the things that we saw happen this morning with the Dave Meltzer revelation, that this was a plan. Lesnar agreed to it. They want to work a longer, which, by the way, nobody thought this was. Nobody thought this was going to be the beginning of a longer feud. Now that it might be, it's a little interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think, from the starting to the end of the whole show, there was a lot of mess-ups.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah, no one was on point. I don't even know if they even practiced in the back. I don't know what they do, actually. It seems like it was just thrown in there.
Poor execution. I agree. Poor execution.
Yeah, the whole thing. I don't think the general manager, not the general manager, but Vince McMahon's son,
Shane. Yeah.
Shane, when he put his legs up and hit what's name with his knees, I don't think he was even supposed to do that.
No, he was, and then he rolled him. Then they forgot to roll up on top of it. It was all a shit fuck. It was out.
Yeah. It's. What do you do? Do you keep watching wrestling after this?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're a wrestling fan, yeah. I mean, I'm not stopping.
Correct. It's just people pay a lot of money. It always comes to money, and that's what these wrestlers do. It's like boxing and everything else. Everyone wants money. So, to give people what they want and that execution, it's like. Yeah, it's like going to a nice hotel and your room sucks.
I'm not going to lie. There are some frustrating elements, but I'm a little bit surprised by the more and more positive reactions that I'm reading about Survivor Series. There seemed to be, I didn't think anybody was going to say anything positive, and it seems to be a lot more than I thought. Chris Cressa, Dave, you missed my donation. I'm sorry, I was talking to somebody and I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. But I do appreciate your donation, and everybody got to read it, so that's okay. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, and I'll read it at the end, I promise. I do appreciate your donation, but give me more. All right. It's interesting because it all depends on where it goes from here. It was easy to dismiss that it sucked because, the 3 years build of Brock and all this stuff. But now going forward, they have a chance to kind of repair this a little bit. But like I said, Brock's got to kill somebody tonight.
Yeah, they have to give the fans something because it's how is it next?
Wait, hold on one second. I gotta address something. LC in the chat. Hey Dave, I heard about Tommy getting some new guy on the show. I was devastated to see you replaced. Head up, Dave. You are a hero. Wait a second. What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't get replaced. That's Jake Link. For one, he's my co-host right here on Nerd and the Jerk. Two, Jake Link, myself, and Tommy C are the ones who created Shot from the Point together 5 years ago. So, no, Jake's not new. He hadn't been on the show in a few months. He wanted to come back last night. I decided to step aside, let Jake have the spot, and I'll be back tonight. That's what happened. I didn't get replaced. There's no replacing this. You fucking crazy? Do you not know the copious? Man, come on, you nuts. Hey, Manny, I see you're in Las Vegas. I lived in Las Vegas for over 10 years. In fact, you see I have a Las Vegas number because it's a homage. But I live in Germany now. But still, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you live in Vegas.
Yeah, man. Awesome show, man. Thank you, man.
Wait, you said you've been a fan since you've been a wrestling fan since '84. You said?
Yeah, I'm 41 years old, so I've gone through all these wrestling. I mean. People,
have you always lived in Vegas?
I lived, since 1980. I was born in Puerto Rico.
Can I ask you where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school, El Dorado High School.
I went to Durango.
Yeah, you did? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I went to the first elementary school, Sunrise Acres in Vegas.
No shit.
Yeah, in the ghetto, man. 28th Street and Eastern, bro.
Oh, my. I lived over on fucking Tropicana and Flamingo. Decatur for a long time, yeah. I went to Elaine Wynn Elementary School. I went to a much nicer school.
Yeah, man. I went with all the cholos, they said. No.
I went, but you know what? For 2 years, I did go to fucking Clark High School, which is...
Oh, the prison?
Yes.
The woman prison? Exactly
essentially, man. Hey, it was good talking to you. I appreciate the call, man. Make sure you call back in again.
Thanks for the show again, man.
No problem, buddy. Take it easy. Have yourself a really good night.
You too, man. Thank you.
Good call. Good call. I like it. The Germinator, after a good night's sleep, I did not like last night's show. Good for those who like the show, but well, okay. Yeah, I'm still with you. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm still with you. But at the same time, I'm willing to give a little bit more time if Lesnar kills somebody tonight. I want to kill somebody tonight. He needs to kill somebody tonight. All right. I think that's about it. I think that's going to wrap it up. I'm tired. I got some shows to do tonight. We got Raw and stuff. I'm going to go set that link now and all that good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Hope you had fun talking to your copious fat man. Let me know. Keep the conversation going. Go on over to my Discord if you're so inclined. I'll put the link right there where you can come into my Discord and talk to all the crazy animals. I'm there hanging out every now and then. When I see people talking, I definitely like to get involved. So here it is. Here's my link to Discord. Or not. There you go. Link to my Discord is in the chat. It's also in the description box. Check me out on Twitter at DeadOnDaveV to help me get to 5,000 Twitter followers so I can get on ProWrestlingTees.com. All right. Thank you guys very much for joining me right here on Dead on Dave Productions. I will be live tonight with Tommy C for Shot from the Point Dead. We're going to probably do love phones or some kind of crazy stuff. Make sure you're there for it. We're going to have a good time. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit that like button on the way out. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Keep it copious, folks. And peace.